Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh at Bethany Mandel joins me. Good morning, Bethany. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I just spent 45 minutes talking to Chairman Mike Gallagher about what he would like Brett Baer and Martha McCollum to ask the candidates about tomorrow night. You're my demo change. All right. We go from our hawks and our military people to our homeschooling moms and our
Yep.
people of faith. Bethany, what do you want the candidates to be asked tomorrow night? What are you looking for?
So I would like to see a little bit more personal. I mean, this is like the true demo change as a woman. I would like to see a little bit more personal. I love DeSantis, but I feel like this is a real weakness of his. He's very good on policy. He's very good about talking about sort of the job, but I like to hear more about who he is as a person because that really says a lot about the kind of leader they're going to be and the empathy that they'll bring to the job, especially after watching Biden just absolutely bomb with everything related to Maui. We need to know that, God forbid, if something like that happens again, that we have a commander in chief who is empathetic, who understands what it's like to be suffering and not sort of like stand there and bloviate after like a week and a
You know,
half.
this is really a men are from Mars, women are from Venus moment.
Yep.
I don't care if any of these men or women have an ounce of empathy. I want them to be able to kill Chi Coms if they attack Taiwan. And
Yeah.
and I mean I just want to know, are they up to the commander in chief test? And I don't know how to get
So,
that yet.
I mean, the commander in chief job, there's a lot of different components, and I would argue that they don't actually do very much. A lot of, people in Congress, people in your local government, like those are the folks that impact your day to day life, unless something like Maui happens, unless there's a war. I would like to hear more from Vivek on foreign policy personally, because that is a really worrisome point for him. But on the interpersonal stuff, I think that that's a weakness of pretty much everyone else. Um, Nikki Haley does it somewhat well, but I think that she's wary of seeming too womanly, and so I feel like she doesn't talk enough about her family. Um, and when she does, it sort of just is a political talking point. Like she's very scripted, and so is DeSantis. I don't love the scriptedness, and I think that that's part of the reason why people loved Trump so much was because he just would say things, and you were like, oh wow, okay, you just you just opened your mouth and did that, and I think that people like that.
I'm kind of surprised, not about that assessment. I do think that's a lot of the Trump and now Vivek appeal is I'll answer anything anywhere, no matter what happens, even if it's dumb, because I can always walk it back. Joe Biden does.
Yeah.
But I thought you would say, I want to hear that my ability to homeschool my children will be protected and that, in fact, I'll get some money from the state that I'm not using, even though I pay property taxes.
So that's a state decision. That's a local decision. I don't think that the government. I don't think that the president can make that assertion for me that
Oh,
would
you're
make me feel
wrong. You're
anything.
wrong. You're wrong.
What?
Federal legislation can say we are conditioning all the federal aid on your ability to have a voucher program. That's how we got an 18-year-old driver's
I mean,
law in the United States, is that we wouldn't give them any money for their highways until they lowered the drinking age to 18.
when you I'm wary of actual a lot of money coming into homeschooling because then in states like Maryland where I live, that comes with strings. And all of a sudden now you have to meet like benchmarks and you have to
Now
have
that's
certain
way paranoid because you can write a law to make it the Arizona system or the Ohio system where you say you will not get any federal money unless you do vouchers and you leave the people who get them alone. It's not that
right,
hard to do, Bethany.
but that's in places like Arizona. I'm thinking more like Maryland where they will do anything possible to meddle in your life as with your children.
Yes.
And a lot of it is not legal. Like what is happening in my county, Montgomery County, they are not doing legal things and they are
Oh,
spending
did you
millions of
see
tax
the
dollars
YouTube
to try to
video
keep on
of
doing that.
the? Did you watch the Davis, California librarian shut down the woman talking about women
Yep.
in women's sports? The
Yep.
the most obvious unconstitutional action by a state employee I've ever seen on
Hmm.
tape, and he
Yep.
was aging hippie with a T-shirt and a lot of beads, saying, "Well, it says you can't. You're misgendering people. You have to leave the library."
Yep.
I was absolutely astonished. I was astonished. It's
Yeah.
so wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, they don't really care for the rule of law. It's so funny because we're watching them like just go after Trump on every little thing, but the actual Constitution is like, oh well, if the ends justify the means, basically.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I know Montgomery County has become unto itself a blue bubble as deep as San Francisco and Davis,
Yep.
but they are indifferent to, ignorant of, stupid about the American Constitution. And I
Yes.
don't know what you do. But
Yeah.
I can assure you it is possible to write a federal law to get you money without any strings attached by Maryland and Montgomery County.
I
If
mean,
I'm right,
I would love that to be the case, but golly, I living in Montgomery County, my perspective is the less government, the
why do
better.
you
Leave
stay
me
there?
alone. I don't need
Why
you.
don't you leave?
Why don't I leave? Because the Jews have decided in their infinite wisdom that this is the only place in the Washington, D.C. area in which we live.
That's
So I have
not
to have
true.
a
You can
supermarket.
leave. You don't have to make Aliyah. You can go to Alexandria. There are Jews in Alexandria. I've
No,
met
no,
them.
there's no
Bethany,
supermarkets, there's no
thank you so much.
restaurants.
The
For
Jews
real.
will let me